Good
Morning,
morning.
morning. It is Sunday, and we're going monster trucking. Oh boy. Okay. I'm here with my buddy Crash McLeod,
Morning.
and we're playing one of my personal all-time favorites, Bigfoot for the NES. This game came out, I believe, in July of 1990, and this was actually the first NES game I ever beat. So we're ready to go. Uh,
Yeah, I'm ready when you are.
okay. All right. Starting in three, two, one. All right. Got the first skip. There's a cutscene that plays there for a couple seconds, then it kicks you out of the map. I can mash through it.
To give a little backstory on the game, it's a series of races between Los Angeles and New York City, all monster truck based.
Yep.
There are 5 different styles of races, 2 overheads like we're watching right now, 2 car crushes, 2 mud races, 2 hill climbs, and a championship race as well.
Actually, to correct you, Crash, every single race has a overhead. Basically, you're racing to the city. You're gonna race again. It doesn't really make very much sense. However, and I just missed a turbo.
Yeah, these overhead races, for the most part, are pretty much the basic you would see in any NES style racing game. Turbo, obviously, A and B are going to be your turbo and brake and whatnot, and you're just steering with the D-pad. The overhead races, which we'll get into a little bit, kind of change up the controls a little bit, though.
Yeah, actually, you have turbo and item usage. Now, skipping cutscene here for the text. All right, get the truck ready, and this is where the time sink is. Basically, the computer does one pip of their power every 2 seconds, which is lovely for time.
And this is the first of the car crushes. T's goal is to essentially survive these races with a single engine left. His truck has 4 engines on it, and at most he's probably going to burn through 3 on each one of these. As long as he doesn't burn through the 4th one, he'll make it through every time.
Yeah. The worst part of this is the fact that there is no accelerator in this. I have my B strapped to a supercharger. My A is my gear shift, and to move, I actually have to rapidly press left and right on the D-pad.
And to do this strategically, it's probably recommended to hold the controller sideways and rock the D-pad upwards and downwards instead of trying to go left to right with it. The manual for the game actually says to put the controller on the table, but that's
Yeah.
just me. I wouldn't do that.
And I missed the skip, so we're getting a few seconds of the cutscene here that adds up my points. All right, Reno, Nevada. This is the mud race.
Let's get another overhead race right here. If I might bring it up right now, there is actually an
And my
Easter egg.
controller is disconnected.
There's an Easter egg in a couple of these overhead races where I believe there's a cow hidden somewhere on the map, and what that will do is spawn a bunch of $50 item boxes towards the end of the race, and Tigron can use that to essentially rebuild his truck before the following race begins.
Yeah, unfortunately, that also means that the computer can get a whole bunch of money, and I don't want this guy to get any money. I want him to basically blow up, and he's done. There we go.
Yeah, you can bankrupt your opponent in these overhead races as well. Essentially, what will happen at that point is that I guess the truck driver essentially loses all control and will just kind of burn out towards the bottom of the screen there until his truck inevitably explodes.
That's well, Crash is talking about a glitch that happens. I can't really make it happen, but this guy, basically, when you blow up, you have to spend $500 to get a new truck as a penalty. and he's bankrupted, and that brings up a new truck that I have to race against for the next race. And also, I will be donating $10 for every truck I bankrupt, so that's that's $10 to the charity.
I will match that.
Okay.
And we're coming up to a hill climb, I believe, next.
Yes, after the mud race is the hill climb, and that is what I affectionately called when I was a kid a thumb destroyer, because I would actually hold the controller normally and run my thumb back and forth over an NES D-pad. I have a very nice sized callus on my left thumb now because of that.
The hill races are going to work similar to the car crushes we saw earlier, where up to 3 engines could probably explode, and then T can still finish the race. As long as he doesn't blow up the 4th one, anyway.
Yeah.
Do you have a moment for a quick donation?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Sure. We have a $15 donation from Omega Fulf that says, "Good luck on the run, Tigron. Crush those cars."
Thank you, buddy. All right. And get the skip.
Thanks for that, Omega, by the way.
Yeah, the other time sync of this, if you notice, is the fanfare. Start of the overhead race, you get 9 seconds of song, and then when you beat the side-scrolling races, you get another 8 seconds of a song that you cannot skip.
Yeah, think of it as getting 6 fireworks at the end of a Mario stage.
If only. And because what's... Oh. Okay.
And there's another exploded truck.
Yep. And yes, the sound you were hearing is intended. Whoever had the sound design for this game loved the noise channel for some reason, and put all the most annoying sounds as possible on it.
No hate against him or anything, but I believe the sound designer was Tommy Tallarico.
Don't know. However, I'm gonna waste some time here. Oh!
Got another
Okay.
exploded truck.
Yeah, and he just blew up and crossed the finish line on the respawn.
So does that technically give him the win there?
Yes. Yes, it gives him the win. He crossed the finish line even though he spawned after he exploded.
If only there was a line for that.
There was, and he crossed it apparently. And
I know you might say there was a time where it may never have happened before.
2. Okay, 3 engines. I have to baby this now. All right.
Nicely done.
Yes.
Yeah, for those who don't know what happened, he burned through 3 engines fairly early on in that race, so he kind of had to control the truck as gently as possible going up to the top. If he had burned that 4th one, instant loss. The opponent, essentially by default, will win that race.
Not necessarily. The opponent can burn itself out, and nobody wins. But the computer, if you notice on their dashboard, doesn't shift and doesn't use the turbo. So it is entirely possible for them to, and blew the 4th engine. Blew the 4th engine on the finish line. Blew it. So this is not going to be a great run.
Also, probably a time to bring this up. So in these side-scrolling stages, there is a very slight potential for a soft lock on it, if I'm not mistaken.
Only in like 3 levels, because of some of these levels are so long, you will have issues with fuel, and you have to basically refuel in the middle of This isn't good. This is not good at all. I'm going to lose this one. I'm going to have to. Because I can't. I don't have enough money. Yep, blew the fourth engine and just glitched out the game. Okay. I have no idea how that happened. This has never happened before.
Now, if we look at the yellow truck, you can tell his map is totally glitched out as well.
Yep, and I only have $300. If I blow up, for whatever reason, my game is over. So I'm going to have to do a couple of really sneaky things right now to get some money. Because I have to rebuild everything.
As we're in this next overhead race, Shia, if you got any donations for us, now would be a great time to read them.
No new ones currently, but keep in mind we do have some incentives coming on later. So exclamation point incentives or exclamation point donation in the chat. Check out those links and see if there's anything coming up that you would like to donate towards. Remember, it's an amazing cause.
Thanks for that, Shia. Another mechanic just to bring up on this, you essentially cannot outrun your opponent regardless of how much fuel you might have in this race. The reason for that is because both cars are on the screen at the same time the entire time, so you will inevitably get dragged by the bottom of the screen. No rubber banding at all.
Yeah. Can I get $2,000 for winning, and I get $1,000 taken away for, and I think I'm game over actually right now. I'm.
Oh, we can see. You got $2,300 right now. Last I saw.
Yeah, and I blew all of that. I cannot. This may actually be a game over. Yep, this is game over. Yep.
Yeah, we were at the tractor pull too. Essentially, these were for the most part gimmies. If he had the money to do it, this would basically be a handout win for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I physically cannot complete this.
Man, it's a way. I'm not sure to say. Yeah, it does happen from time to time though.
Yeah.
Oh, it came close there too. I got about to the 140 mark on that last rerun.
It's actually done by the arrow at the end.
Oh, okay. So it's done at the actual pull. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I need money. I need to.
Would it be potentially possible for you to go back a race and maybe rebuild the money?
I cannot go back races. Cannot do anything. It's very linear.
Mm-hmm.
Which means I have to hit as many of these dollars as I can and not blow up. Oh, I just jumped over a cow.
Yeah, he needs those cows to pick up too. I know that sounds weird, but they're essentially called the cash cows in the game. And what those will do is they'll drop a few $1,000s on the map, and it's free for anybody to pick up. It's basically becoming Tigron's job to collect more boxes than his opponent.
Yeah, I have to be able to. And I just blew up again. There we go. Well, this is going to be a close one. This is going to be a close one.
He's got himself back up to $4,300.
Right, and I'm gonna probably tank this race and not blow myself up because I can't afford to repair it. I know this isn't exciting. I know this isn't good, but this was not ideal.
Let's call that marathon luck.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if I blow up an engine, it's $800, and I only have $1,700 left. So, thankfully, the next race is one of the tractor pulls, and that's basically a gimme for me if I'm at full power. I can beat that easily. I just need to be able to survive and sock as much cash as I can right now. But yeah, that hill climb basically just screwed me. I'm actually ahead of him, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stop and let him win. Because if I win, it's best 2 out of 3. So if I win, I have to do it all over again. There we go. Okay. He's going to win for now.
So if you do, it's 2 out of 3 anyway. Even regardless if you got that 2 wins, by default is to have you run the third race.
No, if he wins one, then we both tie, and then you get a third race. Or I win one, he wins one. Third race happens to get the actual full winner.
We are in Tulsa. I believe this is the halfway point through the game.
It is.
They had their geography down on this one because Tulsa, Oklahoma obviously looks the exact same as Los Angeles at the start of the race.
Yep, pretty much. And Chicago's nothing but skyscrapers.
Mm-hmm. And Tiger was able to have our yellow driver there take a jump directly into that trees, and yet another explosion.
Yep. Okay. Now I have to be careful too because I'm behind on points. If I finish the last race, but I'm behind on points, I still lose.
And coming up to our next tractor pull.
Shy, if you got any donations, now's the time to read them.
No new ones currently, but as a reminder, it's a perfect time to send in a donation for not only myself but potentially Buff Bob to read your names aloud. We will say your names and your messages.
Oh, I'll say it.
And plus, it goes to an amazing, amazing cause. So, exclamation point donation in the chat. And don't forget to check out the incentives.
And just comment on those donations. Yesterday, they had a great time reading out some very groaning puns. So, yes, if you want to make Shy and Buff say some puns, we'd love to hear them.
Yes.
All right, we have just finished up Tulsa, Oklahoma. We are now on to Jackson.
Yes.
Now the layouts for these overhead tracks are not exactly the same, are they? Or are they? Is it just because they look similar?
They all look similar. They use the same set of tiles. You've got one that has this bridge in it. Then you've got another one that's got the grass in the middle like this, and then the mud hole in the middle. It's just put together weird.
Mm-hmm.
And up.
They both missed a $100 box.
Well, the boxes are actually semi-random. Because there's a couple hundred ones. There's $500, 200. So.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got $8,400, and I should be able. This next one is a hill climb, so I'm going to be really careful this time, and do what I can. And this is probably what it was supposed to look like.
Yeah, and the last hill climb a moment ago, Tiger unfortunately burned through 4 engines. The goal here is to keep at least 1 engine, so he can burn through 3 of them.
Okay, and there's 3. Back down to 2nd gear, back up to 3rd. And baby it. There we go. That's the way it's supposed to be.
And the opposing driver essentially gives up his dreams and rolls back down the mountain.
Yep. One, 2, and 3 engines. No, I didn't want to shift. I did not want to shift. Low. There we go. Okay. Oh, just saved it. Just saved it. Skip the text. Union. I have no idea where this union is and where it is in relation to New York, so I've never known. Because Jackson is Mississippi, and yet it is what looks to be east of Appalachia, so which makes no sense.
I've been to New York one time in my life, and I actually don't even remember where I was on the map. It's also New York is the final location for this race, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. New York is This was listed as the Oyster Bay Championship if you read the manual, which is kind of strange because technically New York is not New England.
I think that depends if the Patriots beat them in the Super Bowl or not.
And there we go. Okay.
That looked good too. That was probably the smoothest race in this run so far.
Yeah, up until the first hill climb, that was probably that was the smoothest one so far.
You got the next mud race.
Yep, shifting the 3rd into the mud. Actually, this one is where I have to be careful because I should have been taking a safety save or safety save state because I have able to soft lock the game here. If I cross the finish line, I have to slow down. I have to slow down. I have to wait. There we go.
I think you burned through 2 engines on that one.
Yeah. Now, I had to stop there because if I cross the finish line as the computer crosses the fuel, the game doesn't know what to do with the audio and soft locks, basically rendering the game completely unplayable and completely done. There we go.
I think essentially what that means is that the developer tied the fuel line and the finish line to the same thing, a code.
Well, yeah, the actual audio, because it keeps playing the audio clip.
Yeah.
And it doesn't know what to do. It's 2. Okay, it's 3 engines dead. There we go. That was a nice safe one.
Nerves. I saw engine damage go up 3 times. Like, oh no, he's not going to do that here.
I'm counting them. I'm counting them. All right, New York. This is the longest race, and I will be taking another save state here, just to make sure, because I have ruined it on the last race.
So he only had $100 too when he started this race. I was actually kind of hoping for a bankrupt right there.
Just wait. Just wait. There's the sound.
There you go. He got the cash cow. Now there's money that's just showing up everywhere.
Yeah. I don't really effectively need it, but the money's at least good. That at least keeps me in the if I need to blow up stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
with 11 grand, he's in good shape right now too.
Yeah. Take the save state just in case I need it.
Prepare to race.
One. There's 2. 2 engines done.
So last time you went to Monster Jam and they had blue dirt everywhere.
No clue. Yeah.
I apologize. I'm looking at chat right now. Oh, crash corpsing, send for the man.
Yes. Now the funny thing is you can't actually bankrupt your opponent in the middle of one of these side-scroller races. I've only done it on a 2-player race with my brother. But if you don't have enough money to basically give yourself enough engines to compete, it will bankrupt you and kick you over to the next CPU opponent. However, that means you have to rerun all the races again. So if you're up 1-0 and they bankrupt, basically you have to run the entire side-scroller race again. From the start, best 2 out of 3. And I'm going to just baby this. Because if I blow this last one, we're done. And we're done. Time.
And unofficial time looked to be about 28:30.
That's not bad. That's not bad. My PB is about 25. World record's a 24:26.
Awesome. Well done.
Yes, yes. And this is like the single most disappointing ending when I was a 7-year-old. That's it?
I love that guy right there. He looks awesome.
Got a very empowering mustache.
Crash, thank you so much for this, dude. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Unless Tigron, you got anything you want to say? I think that does it for the both of us.
Yeah. If anybody ever wants to try this game, go ahead and do it. I'm actually the guy who moderates this on speedrun.com. If you want to do it, I'm pretty good at checking that up every so often, but would always love to have somebody to race against that I could possibly beat.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, thank you so much. Once again, that was Namrepus, aka Tigron, with Bigfoot on the NES.